Hello, thanks for tuning in to our March 2020 newsletter video. The month of February has been a good month for us. We've been working through finishing up our seasonal pruning. If you've got crepe myrtles, perennials, roses, things of that nature, if you've got that stuff on your property, you've probably seen our guys work on finishing up their winter pruning, cleaning those out. Many of you have had questions about crepe myrtles, and just to clarify, we do not want to chop our crepe myrtles down. There's a common term that's thrown around out there called crepe murder, and essentially it's chopping those off at 6 to 8 feet tall, chopping off those big trunks. That is not something we want to do. It's not a practice that we teach our men. So if you're seeing it out there, we do not advise doing that, and the reason for that, it creates a lot of sucker growth on the trees. We work hard to train our guys. We want to get these trees to grow upward and have their canopies very thin so that sunlight can get into the interior and help develop the foliage, and essentially it will make it flower better. So on many of your trees, if they are older trees and taller, you won't see us trim the seed pods off. You'll just see the thinning cuts and removing sucker growth so that air and sunlight can move into the canopies better. So hopefully that answers some of your questions. Many of you I've met with already and discussed this, and we've looked at trees on your property, but just so you can know what to expect this year and in years to come, those are practices that we're going to be adopting. Pre-emergent herbicide applications are another thing we've been working on this month. Generally in the South Carolina low country, we target the middle to the end of February to make our first pre-emergent application of the year. And we've reached out to many of you. Many of you have approved those applications to be made on your property, and we are just finishing up those here this week. If you are still interested in getting it, it's not too late, although we may miss the window a little bit. We can still get that application out, and you will see some benefit from that into the growing season as we move forward into spring. And what we're targeting to prevent is things like crabgrass, goosegrass, and some of those troublesome broadleaf weeds that start to pop up in the early spring. I want to mention one thing as we do move into spring. We've already had some warmer days here. We've also had some cold ones. It seems like the temperature's up one week and down another week. So we're probably going to continue to see that throughout the month of March. What we focus on in the landscape is soil temperatures. Soil temperatures regulate everything that we do. Even on a day where here in February or March, the temperature may approach 80 degrees, it does not mean that over the next week your grass is going to start greening up. You might see it green up in spots. Some spots are warmer than others, so the soil warms up quicker, and you might see some partial greening. But the key word there is partial. Your grass is not going to totally green up with just a few days of warmth. We need to have consistently warm temperatures for that grass to green up. Grasses like zoysia grass, if you've got zoysia grass in your lawn, those are probably even going to be some of the last grasses to turn green, fully green, and be ready for fertilizer. So a lot of people start asking about when is your fertilizer going down. These warm days start to get the excitement going for spring, and the growing season is here. But fertilizer will not benefit your lawn in the month of March. We are firm believers in that. Generally, historically, the soil temperatures are not warm enough for the grass to fully use that fertilizer. So what we put down is a slow release fertilizer product, and it extends out over the course of about 90 days. And we want to put that down at a time where your grass will benefit the most from it. We believe that is in April. On average, that's when the soil temperatures are up enough we see good consistent greening of our grass all the way across. So be patient. Patient is the key word as we come into spring. It is exciting to think about and see all these things start to come back into blossom and see our grasses and lawns green up. But please be patient as we work into that. We are doing what is best for your lawn. And I'll mention one other thing. This is a time of year, February and March is a time of year where if your lawn is looking poor, this is probably the worst it's going to be. A lot of times we have patches where they're thinner this time of year. Some of that is due to shade, some of that is due to root intrusion, sometimes even damage from things like armadillos and moles throughout the dormant season. You might see thin patches in your lawn, and this is a hard time of year to judge your lawn because it is probably the worst it's going to look. If you have questions or concerns, or if your grass just isn't developing or filling in like you feel like it should, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to come out, take a look, and do a consultation on site with you one-on-one, and we can talk through those things. That's it for now. Just wanted to run those few things by you. Watch your irrigation also. I will say that as well, as these nighttime temperatures are still very cool. Adding irrigation, turning that on too soon this time of year will only cause more problems like fungus and just saturating the soil. As you know, we've had a lot of rain here in the low country over this past month, so keep your irrigation systems off until we get closer to spring. All right, thanks so much again for your attention, and we really appreciate you watching. Have a great day.